Now, y'all listen up here. I've got some spooky stories from y'all about a cemetery in Lexington, Virginia. And this joker had three different names. It opened in 1789 as the Presbyterian Cemetery, and it kept that name for a long time, up until 1949 when they changed it to the Stonewall Jackson Cemetery. And then when everything went to hell in 2020, they renamed it the Oak Grove Cemetery. And this place has some very affluent people buried there. There is Stonewall Jackson himself. Probably not his arm, though. His arm is buried at a different location. There's roughly 144 Civil War soldiers in there, and included total, I believe it's 300 veterans included in that mix. Revolutionary War veterans, as well as a Confederate poet named Margaret. And I just want to add here about Stonewall Jackson's grave that that's not the original location. They moved him from somewhere else in the cemetery and put that monument on top of him with his family. Like 2 infants and his oldest daughter is buried there along with his wife. Along with all that, they do ghost tours here and history tours. So get online, look it up. It's been going on since 1996, and go up there and take the real tour. And let me tell y'all about the hauntings that happen here, because good Lord, they are hard to find. But when you do find them, it will blow your mind. There was a story from 1999 when this group of people were riding through the cemetery after hours. I guess it was before they closed it at dusk. And they had this overwhelming, weird feeling. As they were driving through there, the people in the back seat started screaming, "Go, go, 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 go." And the driver was like, "Why?" And then they heard it. She said it heard it. And it was like this huge screaming of like a rally, like a whole group of soldiers were charging their vehicle, and it was just surrounding them. And you couldn't tell where it was coming from. You couldn't see it. You could feel it and you could hear it, and that was it. And they said they hightailed it right on out the cemetery. People have reported hearing drumming, like Civil War drumming, battle drums, while they are visiting the cemetery, on top of cries, screams, whispers, being touched, electricity in the air, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. Paranormal investigators have been in here and have caught EVPs of a woman speaking, along with intelligent conversations they're having with these spirits. One of the coolest things that happens here is in a tradition with the Virginia Military Institute. The students there come here during exams, and they leave offerings of lemons and oranges and citrusy fruit because Stonewall loved them. Actually, he really loved peaches, but they were really hard to get back in the day. But before battle, he was known to chew on lemons and just chewing on them. That's kind of odd. It's bad for your teeth. But if you leave these gifts here during exams, then it's a request for good luck on your exams. One of the saddest stories I've heard about this cemetery is the legend of Jonathan. And he was a soldier under Stonewall Jackson. And during battle, he lost his life. And they said with his dying breath that he allegedly took an oath to protect the general for eternity. And that's what he does now. He stands by Stonewall Jackson's grave, and he still guards it to this day. And I'm about to tell you a story about some people that witnessed it for themselves. These group of individuals ended up in the cemetery one night. Don't know how they got in there. I ain't gonna say what they did. I don't know. But the wind was blowing, and it was an odd kind of cold, chilled you to your bones kind of wind blowing, you know? And it's rare. And they went towards the grave of Stonewall Jackson, and they said all of a sudden that wind picked up real hard, and they heard this crying, this sobbing, but they couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And they looked up, and as the wind blew, it blew this mist in, and this mist created a soldier. And this soldier just looked at him just somberly, just tears running out of his eyes, all sad, and he spoke to them in a whisper, a somber whisper. And what he said as he was picking his finger up to point at the horizon where the battles took place there in Lexington, he said these 3 words: protect, honor, and remember. And just like that, a huge wind came blowing back through, and the particles that once formed him turned back into wind, just like dust. Needless to say, those people also hightailed it out of the cemetery, and I don't know if they ever went back there again. It is said to this very day you can still see the spirit of Jonathan guarding Stonewall Jackson, especially when the moon is shining just right. If you like the story, y'all know what to do right there. Hit that like button. You can hit the share. And y'all can even comment if you really want to. But don't forget to follow me for more paranormal stories.